Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story that honestly completely shatters a really common myth. You know the one, the idea that building incredible wealth requires, say, a six-figure salary, a genius IQ, or, I don't know, a massive inheritance. Well, we're going to look at the exact daily habits that prove compound success is a daily discipline, not a lucky lottery ticket.
Okay, let's dive right into this. How does a low-paid janitor become a millionaire? I mean, it sounds like a Hollywood movie script, right? But it's actually the ultimate underdog narrative. We're going to trace the life of a man named Michael. He was this invisible worker who achieved the seemingly impossible. And he didn't do it by finding some magic shortcut, but through sheer, relentless consistency.
Part 1. The Invisible Janitor.
Picture this. It's 4:30 a.m. in Chicago. While the rest of the city was sound asleep, Michael was already awake and working. His daily reality literally consisted of cleaning hallways, emptying trash cans, and mopping floors. The job was physically demanding, and the pay incredibly low. People walked past him every single day without a second glance. Some looked right through him, treating him as if he were completely invisible. But here's the absolute most fascinating part about Michael. He never once complained.
Instead of feeling sorry for himself, he did this. Every single day, he carved out 1 hour of his lunch break to read. He read books about money, he read books about business, he read books about successful people. Meanwhile, his coworkers, they actually spent their break laughing at him, actively mocking him, telling him, "You'll always be a janitor." They were just wasting their time tearing him down, while he was consistently using his time to build his mind up.
Section 2. The Turning Point. And this brilliantly illustrates the moment everything changed. Michael read a single sentence that altered the entire trajectory of his life. Don't work only for money. Make money work for you. He just couldn't stop thinking about these words. It completely rewired his brain. From that day forward, he decided he needed to learn absolutely everything he could about saving and investing. He wasn't just mopping floors anymore, you know? He was actively preparing to build his future.
Which brings us to Section 3, the habit of saving. But how do you actually build wealth on a cleaner's wage? Because let's be real, knowledge without action is practically useless. After paying his rent, buying food, and covering basic bills, Michael had almost nothing left, but he took action anyway. Step 1, save $20. Step 2, save $50. Step 3, save $100. See the deliberate rhythm here? Michael made a non-negotiable promise to himself every single month. No matter what emergencies popped up, no matter how tired he was, he would force himself into this unbreakable rhythm of continuous saving. So the crucial point here is this. The amount didn't matter. The habit mattered. It's so easy to look at a $20 bill and think, well, what's the point? This isn't going to make me rich. But Michael understood he was building a psychological muscle. By consistently saving whatever he could, he was forging an ironclad discipline. The repetition of the act was way more important than the actual dollar amount, especially when he was just starting out.
And maintaining that discipline over the long haul was incredibly tough. As years passed, his friends were spending whatever cash they had on expensive clothes, the newest phones, things they fundamentally didn't need, just to look successful. Michael, however, was living way below his means, saving and spending his evenings studying personal finance. Were there times he felt discouraged? Oh, absolutely. Were there times he wondered if it would ever actually pay off? Of course. But he pushed through the doubt and kept going anyway.
Section 4. The Power of Compounding. This brings us to the magic engine of his success. Michael finally took all that diligently saved cash and made his first highly nerve-wracking investment. But as anyone who follows the market knows, it is definitely not a straight line up. The market went up, then it went down, then it went up again. When Michael saw his hard-earned money drop in value, it must have been terrifying. Most people, especially those who sacrificed as much as he did just to save those $20 bills, well, they would have panicked and quit. But Michael didn't. He understood that financial success isn't about being lucky for one single day. It's entirely about being consistent through the ups and downs over many years.
He held on to those investments because he deeply understood this fundamental concept, compound growth. It's essentially the process where the money you earn begins creating more money. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill, right? Your initial investment earns interest, and then that interest earns interest. Michael understood these mechanics perfectly, and he was completely willing to give his investments the decades they required to actually work their magic.
Let's see how this builds, because this is where it gets exciting. As the years passed, his investments grew slowly at first. I mean, it takes a long time to see real progress. But then, this snowball picked up speed. His wealth started growing faster, and eventually, exponentially faster.
The compound growth was really doing the heavy lifting now. The money he had earned in the past was aggressively creating more money in the present. He was literally watching his financial future change right before his eyes.
Section 5. The Millionaire Milestone.
Decades of unglamorous discipline were finally about to reach their ultimate payoff. By the time Michael reached age 45, his life had fundamentally transformed. He had accumulated far more wealth than he had ever imagined possible. He was completely out of the financial danger zone. He was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. The immense daily stress of basic survival was just gone forever. And then, at age 50, he hit it. $1 million. The janitor that everyone ignored, the guy whose coworkers mocked him for reading books during his lunch break, had quietly become a self-made millionaire. He didn't win a lottery. He engineered his own financial freedom.
Section 6. The Discipline Difference. Because even after hitting this massive milestone, Michael didn't change his core behaviors.
You see, one day, a younger employee noticed Michael still reading a book during his lunch break and asked him, "Why do you still read every day? You've already made it." Michael just smiled at him and said, "Success isn't something you reach. It's something you practice every day." Just think about how powerful that perspective is. The young employee thought about those words deeply, eventually adopted Michael's daily habits, and began to change his own life as well. Success isn't a finish line you cross, it's the daily practice of your habits.
And that really reveals the core lesson of this entire story. Most people are constantly looking for shortcuts, right? The hot stock tip, the get-rich-quick scheme, the lottery ticket. But successful people, they focus entirely on building habits. Michael proved that your current situation, no matter how invisible or low-paying it might feel, absolutely does not dictate your future. Small actions, repeated consistently, create extraordinary results.
Now, what's really interesting here is that the difference is not talent. The difference is discipline. Sometimes the person everyone overlooks today becomes the person everyone admires tomorrow. Discipline, practiced day in and day out, can quite literally turn a completely ordinary life into an extraordinary one.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Successful people build habits. What habit will you build today? Will you dedicate an hour to reading? Will you save $20? The immense power of compound success is out there waiting for you, but it requires you to take that first disciplined step right now. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.